Yeah, morning, Fabian. A quick turnaround. So I don't expect you to know much more about Ferdy Kadioglu's injury, but is there anyone else that maybe wasn't involved last night who could come back on Saturday?
Yeah, so we have to see how Lewis is today. We have to see also Matt O'Reilly is back in training when he will be ready for potential player in the squad. Also Joao Pedro will be back, so some players will be back on the pitch, and I think with Ferdy it's not that bad. So hopefully he will be also an option for Saturday.
Okay, so Joao Pedro is definitely back for the Liverpool game.
Yeah, we have to see. He's coming back after a long injury.
Yeah.
If he will be an option, but he's back in training. Yeah.
It's been great to see Matt O'Reilly in the pictures that the club have posted on social media. So how's his recovery been? What sort of shape is he in now? Obviously in contention to play or some part on Saturday. That sounds like good news.
Yeah, in a good shape. So mentally in a very strong shape. He's really looking forward for making his really first debut. I think the first one was really short, so he expected the next one to be a little bit longer. And he worked hard in the rehab. He is a very good character. He's part of the group even when he was injured, and he's getting integrated even when he was injured, and that shows his great character, and that's why we're really happy for him that it's going that fast. So also thanks for the medical team, for all the physios who worked really hard with him to make this come back so quick, and now we're really looking forward to have him on the pitch.
Has it taken you by surprise quite how quickly he has come back?
We didn't expect it, that it's that quickly, but like I said, we have great experts in our medical team, great experts with our physios. They do great work. They're very passionate in helping the players, and I think that's so important to bring the players back as quick as possible, and also to have like a positive energy to make them also positive in their rehab, and that's why I'm very, very thankful for all of them, and also the intrinsic motivation from the individual players. And like I said before, Matt was from the first day positive. I think a lot of players when they suffered this injury, they need some time, but immediately after surgery, he had a very, very positive mindset. And if you have this, then these comebacks are possible.
So more options. And Brian Gruda was another summer signing who had a frustrating start with the injury. He seemed to really grow into the game last night. Did he need a match like that? Because he's had to settle into a new country as well as a new club while being injured.
Yeah, I think he needed this match also to prove himself that he's able to play on this level, that his body is resilient. I think he played against one of the best left fullbacks in the world, and it was a tough challenge for him. But there were like good things, bad things, but it's normal for a young lad like him. And now it's about him to get his body more and more adapted to the intensity of the Premier League, to also bring more his skills on the pitch. But I was happy how he defended. I was happy that he had some good actions in offensive possession. So yeah, it was a good start for him.
Despite the disappointment of last night's results, there were still plenty of positives that I'm sure you can take forward to Saturday. You talked about being more ruthless. Can you train that? Is that a mindset thing?
It's just like being ruthless. What I mean is that like just to of course avoid individual mistakes, because in the end, like Liverpool, they punish them. So when we look at the first goal, it's not even a chance for them. It's just a shot from outside, from an unbelievable angle, and we were not able to keep like Gakpo on the right foot, for example. So when you know that he's trying to go inside, so avoid that he can go on his right foot, for example. And the same is like not only out of possession, only in possession. Like we had plenty of chances where we just needed like the last consequence, or we just needed like the last focus to score. And I think in both directions, in possession, out possession, they're like the small details who make the difference in the end. And exactly these small details, you need to have them on your side, and you need to do them in a perfect way. Otherwise, you won't have a chance against a top team like Liverpool. And that's what I meant like with being ruthless, because I can't say to play you must score, because of course he wants to score. In the end, it's about trying to demand or put pressure on the players by the things they can control, and they can't control if they want to score or not, because I think every player wants to score. So that's why focus more on the small details. Focus, for example, on the first touch before you have a chance. Focus on how you defend the 1-against-1, on which side you lead the opponent. These are things where we have to be more ruthless.
Just asking for me, have you been to Anfield before?
I was standing in front of the stadium, but the stadium was empty. So I saw it. Yes, and it's also near from the Everton, from Goodison Park. So I saw it from outside, and some videos from inside.
It's on a lot of bucket lists for fans to go to watch a match there. So for you to manage there, is that sort of a bit?
It's not on my bucket list as a fan to watch a game there. But it will be a great experience for sure, and I heard great things about that. I think me as a German, of course, I've followed the period of Jürgen Klopp, having like great experiences, great memories at the Anfield. So, of course, I'm really looking forward for this atmosphere there.
Thank you.
You've had the vast majority of your games at the Amex so far. I think only 4 of 12 away. What have you learnt of your team on the road so far?
That we can beat every opponent away and at home. That you need to be very good in details if you want to win game. It's the same like yesterday. We had momentum on our side, but we didn't use it, and that's so important in the Premier League. If you have chances, if you create a lot of chances, then you have to use these momentum, because if you don't do it, then the opponent will punish it. And I think that's a big learning. Then of course, in the end, like what I always say is like we have to be better in defending the goal. So we concede against 3 goals. That's too much in the Premier League. You can't win games like this, and that's why it's about a mixture between using the momentum at the right time, being defensively better, but also have like the self-confidence and the self-belief that you can beat every opponent in this league.
And do you want your team to play the same at home and away, or obviously tailored for individual opponents, but...
Of course, in general, we want to keep the same style, but in some points you have to make adjustments and small adaptations. When you play, for example, against Newcastle United, where it's an intense game, where they come man to man, then you can't play the same game like you play at home against Wolverhampton, for example. So you always need to make small adjustments, but in general, of course, we try to focus on our style of play. We try to be dominant in possession, and we will do this away and at home.
How different are Liverpool at Anfield compared to when they play away?
We will see it on Saturday. I didn't experience how they are at Anfield. But of course, when you play at home and you have like this amount of fans as a supporter behind you, it pushes you, and that's why you can't say that it will be the same game. It will be a different game with a different atmosphere. But in the end, it's again a game 11 against 11 with 1 ball and a referee, and then we try again to focus on our style of play, because if you only try to defend against teams like this, you don't have a chance. You have to be good in possession, and I think we saw it yesterday when we had our face in possession, when we created the chances, they also had to suffer. And it's the same for us. If we defend well and they create chances, we have to suffer. So it's always a balance in the game.
There'll be lots of different players on both teams at the weekend from last night. But how much of your prep has essentially been done already, because systems will be so similar?
Yeah, it's of course you only can do like small adjustments, because also the preparation time is not long, and we need to, and that's I think the most important, to recover the players as quick as possible, so that they're mentally ready for their game, because I think the intensity at Anfield is something special, and there you have to be also mentally on a high level. And I think that's very important to not only focus on the tactical things, also like trying to get the player in the best shape mentally and physically, and then I'm sure we are ready for that game.
And when you're trying to change and drum in to the players about the small details that you want to change and things, I remember your predecessor Roberto De Zerbi said that one of the things he loved about this group, he only tended to have to say things once, and they took it on board, and then they did it out on the training pitch and on the pitch. Are you finding this is an intelligent group who pick up things in your methods quickly, or are you having to hammer things home over and over again?
No, absolutely. That's a group. They're learning quick. They are very intelligent. Of course, there are always differences in learning styles. Some players, they learn if you show them more and analyze. Some players learn more if you do these things with them outside on the pitch. So you really have to focus also and understand the player. How do they learn? Because every person in life learns differently. And I experience on my own when I learn a language. I learn it more if I do it practically every day instead of just in theory 1 hour a week, for example. So there are always like different things to experience and to learn from the players. And in the end, I talk a lot about habits, and that's the thing where we have to understand. To create habits is something that takes time, and that's a process. So, for example, last season they played a lot in Brighton, like very man-orientated and man-to-man pressing, and now they have these habits. But to get different habits, it takes a little bit of time, and you have to show them this not only one time, several times. But I completely can confirm that this group is very intelligent, and they have the will to learn a lot of things, and they have the will to improve. And I think that's very special.
Apologies, I'll just ask about one player that you may have spoken about last night, but Simon Adingra obviously came back after a month and played the full 90, scored. How impressed were you with his return, and what can he offer going forward?
We're very glad that he's back. He gives us another opportunity on the wing, another option as a wing. So not only as a starter, also as a substitution. And yesterday he proved again that he can have a great value for this team. So also defensively, I think he was quite good. He was very sharp against the ball and in personal duels. And yes, he deserved that goal because he worked hard for this goal, and he made a good game. So I'm glad for him that he's back in the squad now and is ready to play.
And is it too soon for him to start again at the weekend after a month out, or is he in contention?
No, it's not too soon. So I think he can be ready.
Good stuff. Thank you.
Fabian, next up, the top two in the Premier League. How much are you relishing this opportunity, and how much do you hope to learn about your team taking on both Manchester City and first Liverpool?
Yeah, I think now we can also prove ourselves how far we are as a team, and how ready we are to really challenge like the establishment. And in the end, that's where we want to go. In the end, also that's ambition from the club, and that's also now our responsibility to show it individually and also as a group if we are ready or not. And yesterday there were a lot of moments where we were ready. Yes, there were a lot of moments where I think they felt that we are there, but we didn't make the last step. So we had to learn from this yesterday, and hopefully we can improve our performance on Saturday. So then we might have a chance to win this game.
Nottingham Forest have won there this season, so it just goes to show they're not impenetrable at home at Anfield.
Yeah, I saw this game. I think, of course, Nottingham with different style of play, but they was an early stage of the season. So during this period, Liverpool they improved a lot, and they have now several patterns to play, different positionings, very fluid in the game, and of course they have at the moment 2-3 players in the offensive row. They are quite in a good shape, so it will be will be very important that we defend together and don't give them a lot of 1-against-1 situations.
Paul mentioned about adjustments that you make, and your strategy is always the same. But do you have to make some adjustments for individuals, like whether it's Mo Salah, Darwin Núñez, whoever it may be?
Of course, you have to make small adjustments, but on the other side, we also need like this self-confidence and a self-belief in our players that they're able to defend them 1-against-1. So I'm quite confident that Purvis can defend a 1-against-1 against Salah or Diaz. I'm confident that Joel T or 30 as a fullback can defend the 1-against-1 against Gakpo. And you also need to have like this self-confidence and a self-belief in your group and you as a player, because there will happen 1-against-1 situations during a game. And if you don't have this self-belief and if you don't have the self-confidence that I can beat him in 1-against-1 situation, then you can't go there and win the game. So I think the self-belief is so important in games like this. But of course, in general, we want to avoid this 1-against-1 situation because the chance for them might be higher if they have a lot of them. So doing small adjustments, but having the self-confidence and also the self-esteem to go there and say, I'm ready to defend also 1-against-1.